So I want to talk about one other set of scams, which is the involvement of Wall Street bots. No, not just Wall Street bots. Anyone's involved in financial markets, hedge funds, they'll probably have powerful computing systems with automatic trading bots that are going to do work off either technical analysis that are done by people. I'm just guessing. I mean, I've done a little bit of work in the financial sector, but not too much. I've been working in IT for over 20 years. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I can only guess, and if you can guess it, it's probably what's happening, right? So what we know is happening is like today's crash of Bitcoin was most likely caused by trading bots, or it probably was caused by trading bots on Binance. I don't know for sure. I didn't see it with my own eyes, so I just say probably was, because you're hearing news and it changes sometimes. I don't want to be like CNN now. So anyway, that manipulation, the same as all the other spikes we've seen, is all caused by these, generally from trading bots, also from whales dumping and taking dumps on people effectively, because that's what they're doing with market manipulation. These things would be quite easy to solve, and one of the ways would be to have software that detects trading bots. That wouldn't be hard to do. I mean, you could even use human emotion algorithms to actually start to Rumble, come here. To start to, good boy, 1 second. To start to, oh, look at this, is so nice. Water here is so nice. Anyway, so yeah, what you do is you could easily have them detected and ban accounts. So just tell people, don't use bots. If you do, we'll ban you. And make sure you take down their details so they can't just open up new accounts. You're actually checking, you're actually making it quite fucking difficult for people to cheat. Now, if markets did that, you'd probably this would only probably happen with regulation, but it could actually happen before regulation if sites just chose to do it, right? And if you have a few sites that choose to do it, you can pretty much, just like Bitcoin, change the market. You just create it. If legislation doesn't exist, this is why some people often believe that capitalism is self-regulating, and it's not entirely true, because it can be manipulated to a certain way, but it could potentially be. So let's say, for example, your Binance, Bittrex and 3 others decide to do that, and it becomes the norm, and no one else wants to use any other site that's manipulated by bots except for fucking scumbags. Then all the money that sits on those exchanges will just be their shitty money and their shitty market going back and forward. So what I would suggest is they all do that. They have the power to. Rumble heel. And yeah, it's not like it takes a lot of bloody work. So yeah, just do it. In the meantime, the markets will be manipulated back and forward. So just like that upward path I was speaking about before, badly, it goes up and down, but it's overall it goes upwards, just like the housing market, but with a smaller subset of data. You know, instead of looking over the last few hundred years, you're looking over a few months in some cases, and you're getting that same kind of pattern, you know. And that's because no more land is getting created, no more Bitcoin is getting created. So yeah, the easiest way to see that the market's been scammed at the moment is by looking at the last couple of crashes and how they coincide with dumps from people linked to Mt Gox and things like that. And that Mt Gox as well was another fucking scam, because there's no way it was. You could probably hack the front end, but you wouldn't be hacking the back end and stealing everyone's money. What a load of shit. Anyone who believes that is fucking retarded. So I mean, obviously that's something more like a market manipulation. Who knows, it could have even been a collection of authorities, or one authority in a powerful country in the world that said to them, you steal the money from your customers and just walk away quietly with your money, or else we're going to put you in jail. And they'll probably do it, wouldn't they? I mean, you probably would yourself. So most of what's going on right now, as I say, is not to kill the market. It is simply to delay it, make it remain volatile up and down. In the meantime, the banksters can bring their money in, out, make their arbitrage profit, make their trading profits. So basically, in their you know, high frequency trading, and then over the space of the next, well, what they're hoping, the next 10 years, they can basically suck dry all the volume by manipulating the market continually, then they end up having the new financial paradigm, but they own 90% of all the eggs in the basket, and no matter what currency they're in and what ICO they were part of. That's what I think the plan is overall of the banks. I think it's fairly easy to see, because the thing is, the alternative is that they watch the crypto market get implemented, where they get in at the very late point after the early investors, and well after the early investors, and up, and basically during the mainstream adoption phase. And what ends up happening, I mean, the banks would only have such a small proportion of the overall money that they could no longer manipulate the future market, because the way that the future market's so different. It's not, they can't print money anymore. They can't just do the shit they used to. They can't do the same old trick. So what they will inevitably end up doing is to try, if they can't fix the new paradigm completely in their favor, then they want to own all of it. Simple as that. And then once they own all of it, well, it would even be hard to make that stick, because people would just look at the example that's already been set and they'd say, hang on, we could just do this all again. Let's choose not to have any power. But people are sheep. The weak hands and the weak minds will always give power to the oppressor for the exact reason. They're weak. Don't be weak. Yeah, so that's about the 2 scams I wanted to speak about. Really, in part 1 I had Fat Fuck Phil and his desire for ever more money, because I cannot imagine the guy's not making shitloads trading. You'd have to be a moron not to have made shitloads, at least in 2017. It was such a fucking predictable market that, I mean, you could pretty much, as the guy from They Call Me Dan, I can't remember his last name, Dan, anyway, he says, throwing spears and lures, just by doing that alone, you can make a mint off of it. You could start with a fucking $500 and made yourself a shitload last year just by by doing that. But even just doing your normal, let's say up to 2 trades a day, well, that's for me anyway, maximum per particular currency. It could happen that in one day you make 10-20%, and then you make it again by the end of the day if you put your money back in, or just off of what you leave behind. It'll end up going up again, and it ends up going a moonshot, and you find you've got like 10% of what you purchased, and but after you've taken your profit out and taken your initial capital back, you still end up making twice as much, because it went up like, stupid, like 300% in some cases, you know what I mean? So it was hard not to make money, is my point. I really don't know why Chris from the Cryptoversity, the original Cryptoversity, well, his channel's called Cryptoverse. That's why I didn't realize there was a channel called Cryptoversity until I saw his website. But I don't give a shit, because mine's free, and it's not to make money off anyone. It's just to fucking open people's eyes up. And I think that's what most people in the crypto space are trying to do, especially those of us who've been in it for at least 5 years to 7 or 8 years. It's not necessarily a selfish desire to make cryptocurrency go up in value, but what it often is just because we all believe in it. You couldn't have bought in that early without believing in it. And you didn't buy in that early because you wanted to scam people. You bought in that early because you thought, this is going to fucking change, it's going to mix it all up. And the main thing is, you're people who generally cannot stand the sneaky and the useless. And this was just, it stood out like dog balls to me as something that would actually take power away from scum, And I say scum at all levels of society, whether it be rich scum, poor scum, old money scum, new money scum, doesn't matter. Scum, Anyway, more scams in the future coming up.